9 of 21 Days of Reiki. I'm excited to be here with you live once again. I have taken a few days off. Um, this was originally intended to be 21 days in a row, but I was on the road and things were kind of hectic. And I decided to just kind of honor the energy of being present with my people while I was gone. And I also think it's going to be much better if I come on here from a space of flow and a desire to share, and from a space of inspiration versus just coming on here because, I said I would come on here for 21 days straight. So there will be 21 days of Reiki, but I am not 100% sure how long it will take us to get to day 21. So we'll see. But today I'm going to continue with my Reiki story, which I'm really excited to keep sharing with you. So on day 8, I shared about my first ever experience with Reiki energy at a Reiki circle, and sort of the dominant, message that came through was that I am here to heal my female ancestral line through the practice of Reiki and other practices. And so after that, I continued to kind of research Reiki and look into it, but I didn't receive the energy again for um, most of that year. And then finally, I booked a private session with someone I'm very close to who's a Reiki practitioner, who I also call my spiritual mom. And I went, just open and ready to receive. And that session was incredibly, incredibly profound. So I remember, before the session, she sat me down and we just had a conversation, and she asked me a few questions and, kind of familiarized me with the process and how things would go. And it was an in-person, hands-on Reiki session, and she worked somewhat intuitively, but also largely worked with the standardized hand placements. But throughout the session, I felt the energy so, so, so intensely. And I don't know what these toys are called, so it's hard for me to like describe it perfectly, but they have these toys if you are a 90s child like me, and you ever went to the doctor or the dentist. It was kind of like a plastic tube that was, malleable. Um, and it was filled with, I'm sure, some highly toxic, swirly looking luminescent substance. And when you kind of like smushed it, it like folded in on itself, and the substance looked all, streaky and cool and otherworldly. And that image kept coming to my mind. That's how I experienced the energy. So it was like this swirling, intense experience within me. And it was really beautiful. So, I sat with the energy for a while on the table and had all these visuals coming to me and was feeling the energy moving through my body. And ultimately, the visuals kept guiding me towards this idea that the Reiki energy was with me throughout my life, particularly in childhood when I felt really alone. So I had this vision on the table of me being born, and, some babies are born inside the amniotic sac. I was not, but, I had this vision of me being born as a baby in the amniotic sac, but the sac was filled with Reiki energy. So I had this vision of me being born in this beautiful Reiki bubble, and it was this really, really profound reminder that, like, this energy and I are deeply connected. Like, this is something that I'm meant to be working with in this life. This is something I'm meant to be sharing. This is a way that I'm meant to heal myself and others. And it's been destined since birth to be this way. So I had the vision of being born into, this Reiki bubble. And then I also had quite a few visions from my childhood of times where I felt alone or hurt or cast aside, just all the things that we experience as children that are tough. And during all of those experiences, I didn't know it or feel it necessarily at the time when I was a child, but during that session, I revisited all these really specific moments, specifically from elementary school, where I felt really sad and alone and just kind of othered. And the Reiki energy was there almost as if it was like an imaginary friend. And so I had this deep, profound experience where I was like, oh my gosh, like once again, this energy has been there for me during really tough times where I felt really alone and I felt like I had no one and I had no connections and all this kind of stuff. And so it was really beautiful to have the experience of being like, no, you were never alone, you know? You always were protected and um surrounded by this beautiful bubble of Reiki energy. So that was huge for me. That really, really helped me on my journey of being like, okay, there's something to this, And I'd always felt this spiritual connection, and I'd always felt like there was something bigger than me, or that I was being protected or guided. And I had this really active, vivid imagination as a child, but very specifically, this Reiki treatment that I got, this one-on-one session, confirmed for me that it specifically was Reiki. So in my first experience, it was like, you and this energy are deeply connected. You were born, you incarnated to heal your female ancestral line through this practice. And then my first one-on-one session was like, oh yeah, not only that, but this energy has been with you your entire life, guiding you, protecting you, getting you to this point in life where you could have this realization that this is something that you are meant to work with going forward. And so that was a really exciting and profound realization for me. So, yeah, that was my first Reiki session. And I remember, leaving that session and I went on to teach yoga and do my thing for the rest of the night. And it just put so much together for me. And I had this profound experience of gratitude for the energy and all that it's given me throughout my life without me even knowing it. Um, so that further cemented my desire to become a Reiki practitioner and receive my attunements, and I started to look for a teacher after that, and it took me about, I believe that was in, like, November, December of 2019 that I had that one-on-one session, and I did not do, my Reiki 1 and 2 attunements until August of 2020, so it took me about 8 months to find a teacher, and then there was COVID and lockdowns and all the complications that came with that. But, I firmly believe that everything is always right on time, and I love my Reiki teacher so much, and I cannot imagine going on that journey with anyone else. So, it was definitely in perfect alignment. So, my next segment of my Reiki story, I'll probably share my experience in the Reiki 1 and 2 training. Um, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. So that's my Reiki story part 2. I've never been alone, and the energy has always surrounded and protected me and guided me. And that provided a lot of solace and relief for me. So I love you. I have Reiki trainings coming up next week, Reiki 1 and 2 on the 20th and the 21st, Reiki Master the 24th, 25th, and 26th. There's more details in the description of this video, and you can also follow me on social media for more about Reiki. Okay. Mwah.